This is game number 2 of Supermassive versus Rats, and it looks like we're swapping sides for this one. Supermassive on blue side. We'll give Supermassive first pick here. They've already banned the Sign and the Gragas. That's targeted to Baus as always, and the Varus has been banned as expected. You've got Ivan, Nar, and Zyra unavailable too. Now, what are Supermassive wanting to prioritize here? Got a few champions here that, you know, Rats, for example, like playing the Sivir. Okay. And Bessa just been blind picked up there. Albert had a fantastic game on Jax, getting that 4-man flash stun. He's more than happy to just pick and Bessa up blind up there. I don't know what Baus is actually going to pick into that to answer that, but we'll see. But yeah, we got a few comfort picks maybe available here still. You got Sivir, you've got a Volibear pick apparently. Could be probably top lane, I'm assuming then for that. Jungle, we got Xin, we got Pantheon. We've also seen Talia being taken with the Pantheon as well for that double global pressure, so they can have a little bit more early pressure here. In the previous game, we saw that Rats just had basically nothing for early game. We're just hoping that nothing would happen for the first 25 minutes of the game. This time, the Pantheon is going to offer a little bit more of those level 6 ultis. What is the response here though? Wukong, Skarner, Xin also could be an option, but there's no range taken yet from Rats, so Wukong is the safer option here. Also putting armor debuffs on the enemy for Ambessa and for whatever AD carry they're going to be taking is going to be quite nice too. What is going to be the last pick here for Supermassive before we get into the next part of the ban phase? We have a Kennen. Wow. Don't think anyone would have predicted that, but that's a lot of AoE they've got there with the Wukong ulti and a Kennen ulti. I could see maybe a Janna pick here maybe could be slightly tempting to disengage that straight away. That could be a great way to nullify that, but I don't know if they're willing to pick a Janna pick here. In theory, you could also maybe make the Lulu work, but no, we're going straight for a Ryze pick. Lots of different picks here being taken here from previous series that we watched. Yeah, I would imagine Janna here would be quite good to disengage, but a lot of that stuff, to be honest. I don't even think we'll see a Janna. I don't know. I'd be still surprised maybe to see a Janna pick or a Janna ban, but that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see the Wukong and the Kennen in terms of a support perspective. We do have AD carries and supports that need to be taken. So, well, it could always be Kennen support. You never know. Probably not though. So Misfortune ban going through. There is still Sivir available. We could end up seeing a Sivir ban or a pick here. Jinx also maybe eyed up here for someone here. Brom being banned. We've already had Nautilus and Rakan taken. We could end up seeing a Rel pick here for Supermassive. Could be very interesting with the amount of AoE that they've got. Janna would do quite well, to be honest, I think, into a Rel and a Wukong and a Kennen. That's a Rel ban taken away. I don't want to risk that synergy at all with the Rel and the Kennen and the Wukong. That would be a lot of AoE lockdown. Renata ban going over. Renata would be pretty good. You'd ult the Kennen, and then the Kennen ulti would then start affecting their own team. A Xayah pick being offered here. If it works, it works, but I'm not a massive fan of Xayah. I don't really feel like she's got the ulti for a little bit of protection yet there. Okay, we're going to see crowning on that champion that doesn't really have any safety. So that's kind of exciting. I mean, Jhin has got high movement speed, but no dashes or blinks, and we have seen crowning misposition a lot already in this series. So we'll see if he can step up and make sure he positions properly. Ashe being locked in potentially here. Ashe would give them even more engage. Just all full engage here. Are they going to lock that in with an engage support there too? Just trying to think what engage supports are left. Or you could maybe go Leona here. You could yeah, there's your Leona. So then we got an Alistair pick here that would knock away like one. I think Janna works quite well here, but we do have the Alistair lock in here. I think Alistair does fine into the Leona matchup, but I'm just trying to think that how much protection can you give your Jhin, for example, against that team? You can have 5 people, well, 4 people running at you and an Ashe arrow. Very all in, very kind of like very team fight heavy composition from Supermassive. On Rats, you've got maybe a little bit more macro trying to happen here. Pantheon ulti's trying to come in through. The Rise ulti's trying to manipulate as well. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I think both team comps, you got this time Rats definitely has some better early priority here. Particularly because of the jungle pick, if I'm honest. Just the Pantheon pick does make it feel like the Rats are more viable to play in the early, but man, you really do not want to get into any team fight against Supermassive. And I don't know, I think Janna would have been a very interesting pick against that team. I think it would have worked a lot there, but I'm sure these players know a lot more than I do. But I'm happy with my predictions though in champion selection. I feel like we've been doing pretty well predicting the Leona pick there, locking in. But yeah, so the Ambassador is going to be played mid, and that's going to be a cannon supposedly against the Volibear. I don't imagine Bounce wants to swap into mid lane, but we'll see. But yeah, the Volibear will probably have the best time against Ambassador rather than the cannon. So yeah, we could expect to see some shifting happening there for sure. In the bot lane though, I think Supermassive's bot lane is slightly better here earlier on. Especially if they get ganked. The Ashes slows can be pretty annoying to get away. But I think the main pick on Supermassive, the main vulnerability is the Ashe. So Ashe is by far the most immobile champion there. So we're getting into game here now. But yeah, the Ashe is probably the biggest vulnerability from Supermassive. I can imagine the Alistair and the Pantheon looking to do that to try and nullify that, but if you spend everything on the Ashe, then you got the other 4 champions running at your Jhin and your Rise. How are you gonna back them up and defend them? I don't think Rats wants to start a team fight at all. Do we have audio? Yeah, we do. I don't think Rats want to start a team fight. I think their team fight is basically yelling, we don't want to have any team fights at all. And don't blame them, really. The amount of AoE on Supermassive is absolutely disgusting. And you got the main ways of engaging are from the Ashe, Arrow, or Leona ulti. Those are the 2 by far easiest ways to start the engage. Common thing here as well, the late ward going into the chickens. We could end up seeing another early invade here. Depends who can get priority here, but yeah, we're going to see Baus here in the mid lane. I mean, Baus has just been made even more uncomfortable. It hasn't looked comfortable at all so far this series, and now he's been put into mid lane because he does not want to fight against the cannon early on. Interesting to see how much of a difference that makes, how comfortable Baus is playing in the mid lane. Going to be a different environment completely, it's going to open him up to more ganks. He's not going to be able to proxy either, that's going to nullify that as well. Pretty smart thinking here from Supermassive, to be honest. Nullifying some of Baus's top qualities. Full top side clear has been done by both junglers. Doesn't look like there's going to be a cheeky invade here early on. So Kennen has already swapped back into mid lane. Volibear now looking to potentially swap back. Be interesting the itemization as well on the Volibear as well. Like, what's he gonna go into here to deal with the stuff? He hasn't actually recalled. He did pretend to recall. Bao's taking a lot of damage there in the volley bear there. He's already struggling in this mid lane. Also interesting, Bao's did also go Dark Seal. Here comes the lane sort. Rise heading back into the mid lane here. Volibear getting the recall off. Not sure what the wave state is like on top side, but Volibear's already teleporting all the way up back up the top. Wukong is just above here. Going for top scuttle. Pantheon did get bot scuttle. Yeah, this Volibear is pushed in really high up right now, and scuttle is being done by top. I almost felt like there was an avenue there for Wukong to try something then. It's 2v2. Not much is happening. Both engaged supports kind of nullify each other. Both AD carriers are just looking to poke and harass. Although Leona does find the engage onto the Jhin. Headbutt used on the Ashe to build that distance. Leona's stunned, knocked up, but nothing really else provided there. Crowny not even bothering to auto attack the Leona there. I feel like he could have probably got something down there a little bit sooner. Ezreal punishing this Jhin. Ashe is still a level up right now. We do have Ignite also on the Leona. Both games this support has been very aggressive, the summoners. As they're opting to take in the exhaust for this one. Both AD carries also taking cleanse. You got Kennen made his way back up to top side, so body players now playing that losing matchup again. Did I say Ezreal? Yeah, look at that chunk damage on the Volibear. That Volibear has no way to survive this. Although, good stun, good damage trade back there, but still advantage really to Kennen. Good damage going on to the Ambassador. Knock up going through the Alistar. Very good roam. That's probably... level 6 hitting in just the right time here. Okay, that's absolutely huge. First blood to Volibear against the Kennen that he should be weak to. Kennen was not expecting to... Kennen hit level 6 while dead. Very good timing there. Maybe a little bit lucky. I don't know if Baus knew that he was going to hit 6 before the Kennen, but that's absolutely massive. And Dragon going over. The ball is now ramping now for Rats, but yeah, that's very close. If the Volibear miscalculated that by like 20 XP, like 1 million, Kennen would have had ulti, and then that would have been a complete disaster. The Kennen would have probably got the kill there. Yeah, great roaming also from Reckless. We haven't really seen him roam too much. He's definitely been, in my opinion, over babysitting the AD carry. Quite interesting, he roams more when his AD carry is playing a more immobile champion though. Constellation price here for Supermassive. Grubs go over to them. Gold's still pretty tight, but this is a much better start from Rats. I think if you're probably casual right now, you're probably chilling out a little bit more. Be interesting to see if this Volibear picks up any magic resistance to deal with this Kennen. Maybe Merc Treads or something that might be useful. Engage going on, and Bessa ults but doesn't really travels that far, but the swishies of everything else does. A Spick connects but doesn't quite finish off the Ambessa. Another good roam from Alistar. Much more proactive play coming out here from this Alistar. Ashe Arrow whizzes up. Does not connect to anybody here. Kennen currently under tower on top side, but much better proactive movement from Rats early on. Much more aggressive. I don't think I've seen Reckless this aggressive this early on. Look at the headbutt there for no reason. Maybe trying to stop freezing the wave there, I'm not sure, but I like this a lot more from Reckless rather than just having to babysit Crowny all the time. But this is much better. The mental state of Rats must be a lot better now as well, knowing that Baus is actually winning 1v1 against the Kennen at the very moment in time. Currently 500 gold up. It's a good start. Much better start. But we're going to be entering, it's still a little while to go, but you still have to be worrying about the teamfight potential of Supermassive. If we've already seen Armut do some really good stun plays on Jax, I'm sure he can find something to do on the cannon there too. Yeah, and Armut was the pro player for Mad Lions apparently. I do remember him. I don't watch pro play too much, but I do remember him. And it's like Rats are looking to make a proactive play. There's the 3v3 bot here. Leona flashes in and ults the Pantheon. Pantheon is very, very low. Looks like it's going to fall down with the Wukong ulti. Alistair also having to ulti up, and no one is really dropping low here. Ashe is running out of mana, but the Jhin is not able to do any damage here. Alistair is actually going to fall here too. Jhin W does connect. Leona's taking turret hits here. Force shot does land. Jhin ulti now being used. In the meanwhile, on the top lane, Volibear is engaging. Kennen's now stunned up. Kennen ulti has gone through, but this damage is absurd. This Kennen cannot survive that. That's a very easy kill top up there. Ryze gets a kill on Ashe. Everything just exploding happening right now, but I think it's absolutely massive that Baus is winning 1v1 top. I don't think we've seen that really in any of the games. We've seen him do outplays, but winning 1v1 outright in lane like this is absolutely massive. Baus being 2-0? Let me repeat, 0 deaths and he has positive kills? 3v3 now in the mid lane. Looks like Rats looking for more. Bit of a headbutt there onto the Wukong. Volibear is in the river too, and they're grub spawning in 30 seconds. There could be a window here to recall. Nemesis hasn't really got much mana. He has teleport though, so he could recall and comes back straight in. It was started off as a pretty heavy engage there from the Leona. I thought it was a bit of an overcommitting at first, but they did manage to get the Pantheon and the Alistair, but the Leona pathing there wasn't fantastic, and they couldn't get out quick enough in a safe way to not lose too many people. Ends up being a 1k gold lead now for Rats, and Alistair is in position to maybe make a move on this Kennen. Kennen does have flash, no ulti. Looks like nothing's going to be happening here, just a bit of ward clearing. Ryze is now top. Volibear has now moved into bot lane, and spam pings are now going onto Volibear. Why does this always happen to you, Baus? When your team is getting a free objective on the opposite side of the map, why must you run it down? Can he get away here? He's getting locked down, stunned. There's a teleport coming through, but Baus does not have ulti available. He will go down. Is that stun going to be... Oh my god. I think Nemesis forgot how long it takes for TP to come down. At this stage of the game, it takes a lot longer than a few seconds. It's like 8 seconds. Records, did you forget that the whole team was just here just a moment ago? What are they doing? Records having to ult away. I don't think they can kill Records during this. I don't think Supermassive were expecting Jhin there for some reason. Jhin ulti is available, I think, maybe about to be available, but the Wukong would be able to block a lot of the shots, especially with the clone. Just that one trying to save Baus play alone has cost Rats a lot of resources. They lost their 1k gold lead. They've lost the teleport on Ryze as well. Rats are going for this dragon though. The fail engage, re-engage from Supermassive onto the Alistair does mean they have bad recall timings for this dragon, so that's at least something for the Rats. Getting Drake number 2. So I still say Rats are still in a good... They need to settle down there a little bit. I think they just got a little bit overexcited now. And they do have the boots upgrade too. So if they can maybe secure the next dragon and not blow their load too quickly. But we've seen this a lot in the series where Rats are getting a free objective on the opposite side of the map, and then Baus is just in Narnia. It's really strange communication going on there. Meanwhile, they're looking to converge onto mid lane. Supermassive clearing out wards on the bot side river. There aren't really any objectives up for the minute. The only thing is for the next 40 seconds is that there's plates to maybe play for potentially. A lot of fighting over this mid lane vision. Alistair now going in. Alistair does not have ulti though. He's locked down. He does have flash. He's going to be able to flash away here. He's looking for the flash to get out. No. Oh, he does get it. He has ult is up now. Permanent ulti comes through. Wukong's getting stunned and jumped up. In the meanwhile, in the backside, Ashe is engaging on Jhin. Jhin does get the 1v1 kill onto the Ashe, but Wukong does get a shutdown onto Jhin. Strange fights happening. Strange contestation of things as well. I was just saying, like, I was liking how Rats were playing aggressive, but seemingly a little bit more desperate and uncoordinated than before. Very messy game from both teams now. Plates have now dropped off. That's a lot of damage and Rise going into the Ambessa. But Alistair coming from the side as well. Don't forget Alistair doesn't have flash, so there's no flash engage going to be happening here. Leona is here to kind of cover though, but Ambessa is going to miss a couple of siesta under the turret. Blue buff attempted to be stolen away here from Rats. You've also got a bit of pressure onto top side as well. That Volibear is still very strong now. That cannon is not even remotely close to an item apparently. What is that item pathing right now? Doran's Blade, Dark Seal, 2 books. Need some reading material up there for hiding under the turret now. There's some resets coming in now. You've got Herald coming up in 1 minute. Expect to see players pushing this wave and then start to reset. Although the pings have gone down to Ambessa on bot sides. But they have walked over a ward in the river, so Ambessa should be fully aware of what's to come. But Ambessa just doesn't care. Alistair going in with the knock-up. Exhaust coming down. Ashe arrow flying through. Does stun up the Alistair. Alistair doesn't have ult. No, he does have ult. He's just chosen not to get rid of it. That's fine. Rise does kill the Ambessa and finish it off. He used a lot of resources down there. They can still make it out of the top side though. That was a nice easy pick, but I'm surprised Ambessa just... There was a ward in that mid lane. In that mid lane bot brush. And Alistair and Jhin just walked through it. And there was no heads up to Ambessa in the bot lane there at all. She just didn't care. Got Volibear storming in now. This Ashe is super vulnerable. This is what we highlighted earlier, that this Ashe is an immobile pick. Very easy to pick off if she's slightly out of position here. Wukong finding the gauge here into the Volibear. Volibear having to ult away. Ashe is slowing down the Volibear. He's trying to get away. Looks like the Volibear might go down here. Volibear does fall. Good response here from Supermassive. The Ambassador did teleport up into the mid lane as well. Rise is now pushing in bot. I think Rats are just going to have to give away this Herald. Rise looking like I think there's a tier 1 turret to get. Ambessa does land ulti onto the Jhin. Ambessa is all over the Jhin. There's no peel coming through just yet. Pantheon is about to be there. Stunned landing on the Ambessa. Jhin is being engaged on by the Leona. Leona gets a kill with the Ignite. Rise does come up with his ulti and secure the kill on the Ambessa. Supermassive are all over the place right now. Wukong is now heading back down the river. Flash, cleanse coming from the... Oh, the Leona ulti picks up the Rise. Wow. That Ashe used Cleanse Flash, nearly 1v1 the Rise. The Rise last projectile managed to finish off the Ashe, and then the Leona ulti had to finish off the Rise at the very end. But Leona picks up 2 kills. I think after all of that, I think you're actually happy if you're Rats. Another engage going on to Baus. He doesn't have ulti. He has Flash. Can he get away here with a Flash? Yes, he can. He's going to probably have to concede this turret, though. Wow, much more explosive, aggressive. A lot of bite back here from Rats. Now with a 1.5k gold lead. Very greedy from Supermassive, in my opinion. They already were planning on taking the Herald, and they had resources on Herald, and then trying to go for more. The Ambessa ulti engaging onto the Jhin, overfishing, and this is going to put Rats in a good position now to get 3 dragons. They are Hex Tech Soul Point. They got a lot of points to play around here. They can sacrifice 1 for Atikin potentially. There's a massive group of Supermassive people going with the top lane. Faust does have ulti, but this turret is just about to be taken down. Alice is just staring on. Yeah, there's nothing he can do then. Luckily, was it the Rise that was up there too just now? Luckily, the Rise was able to make an exit. Some disjointed recalls coming here from Supermassive, but there's a 2-0 Volibear. Unfortunately, slipping into a 2-3. Gold is neck and neck, but you have to say, even after everything right now, Rats still have the lead. The 3 dragons are a very big factor in this game. Nemesis is having a very, very good game right now. He's been in the right places at the right time. I'd say Reckless has also had some good moments. I think some slight overextending as well. That can happen when you're playing Alistair though. Got 2 more minutes for this Rod of Ages to be completed on the Rise. Let's see what happens over the next few minutes here, because you got Attican spawning in 50 seconds, Dragon number 4 spawning in 3 minutes 30. I think if you're Rats, you're probably waiting for this Riot's Rod of Ages to be completed. You probably are waiting for that. In order to do anything else, it's so close to that, you might as well wait for that little spike there for free. 1 more minute to go now on that. Tier 1 tower does get taken up by Rats. Herald now being popped down mid. Maybe to try and create some panic, some Herald opportunity here maybe. Reckless is looking to engage. Leona is engaged on. Jin W connects onto the Leona. Everyone else is kind of bailed. Ash Arrow goes wide into another game. Nemesis is being caught out there. Rise Archangel's shield massive. And Bessa tries to get caught out there. And then she re-engages back in. And there's a really good kill onto the Rise. Alice is now having to run away. Jin ult being used too. Not able to find anyone. Leona ulti connects onto the Jin to interrupt that ulti. And that is a lot of people down now. They've got the Pantheon and the Rise down now for Rats. Kennen taking a chunky tower shot there. You still got Volibear on full HP there, and they're moving down to Attican. What's the response here? There are minions on the tier 2. All of that was started because Alistair wanted to have the engage there. Engaging onto the Leona initially there. A lot was used there. Rats do get tier 2 mids as a response to the Attican though. But it felt like a little bit of disjointment. I don't know if you really want to use everything to try and kill the Leona. I feel like that's a mistake. I feel like Leona isn't really a pick that you need to blow your whole load onto. Should be blowing your load on that Ashe. One minute 30 now to Dragon. Let's see if Rats can have a better team fight around that. Faust is looking like he's getting engaged on. He's going to be dying for nothing here if he ends up falling down. He manages to go back into his shield there. Ash Arrow is flying through, connecting with the Ambessa. Disjointing the amount of crowd control coming back here. Faust is still alive. The ulti coming through though. Yeah. It's a bit of a weird one. I hope he's back for the Dragon. But I'm not sure why he's playing that deep when his team isn't able to do anything else on the other side of the map. They sent 2 people and an Ash Arrow up there, but there's nothing easy for Rats to take during that time. If that was during Dragon timing, that would be fine. That would easily make it so that Rats could potentially get 4th Dragon there, but that's going to give up like top priority as well. Like the top wave is now being shoved in. Volibear's not going to have to waddle his way back up there. That's going to free up Ambessa or Kennen to be part of the team fight right now rather than having to split push. If they want to start a fight right now, that is. Gold is still neck and neck here. If Rats get this Dragon, they are going to be on Soul. Hex Tech Soul. Investigating some little poke damage down to Pantheon. Pantheon is getting a little bit too chunked there already for free. Volibear's looking to get mid lane prio. Ash Arrow lands on Pantheon and then Leona ulti. Everything is being used on this Pantheon. Kennen ulti comes through. Nemesis and Rise is having to run away and it's completely split away from the team. Also, Jin during that got put down to 10% HP. disaster team fight, honestly, and that's going to be Dragon over to Supermassive. Is there any consolation at all here for Rats? No. I mean, that wasn't even a fantastic engage overall, I'd say, initially there. They're using Luna ulti and Ashe ulti on the Pantheon, who had his shield up to block up some of that damage as well. I felt like that was actually quite a good situation for Rats to be in. But it does mean that Supermassive cannot have to worry about that dragon now for another 4 minutes. It's going to delay the game even longer. Yeah, Baus was in the mid lane pushing that out, and that's when the Pantheon got caught out by the arrow. I think maybe... I don't know. I don't really know what they could do. Like, if the Alistair needs to somehow make sure that the cannon can't get off a good ulti. Baus is committing under turret there. Already taken a ridiculous amount of damage from the turret. He still has ulti. Looks like he might be able to get away. I think Pantheon was also maybe looking to ulti down there. But that's one thing we haven't really seen much this game. I think we've seen one ulti, Pantheon ulti in the mid lane, but we haven't really seen it for anything else lately. It'd be interesting to see if the Pantheon ulti could be used as shadow for the Baus. Maybe get some macro tart play there. The downside for that though would be that they would potentially leave Baron vulnerable if they were to do that on bot lane. Guess it would depend how weak Volibear would be after that fight, because then he could just TP back up, but... Got 5-0 on that Wukong. Jin making his way over to 3 items, so is this Ashe. Till and turret will fall. And that will put Supermassive in the gold lead. Supermassive I don't think has been in the gold lead for too much this game. They've had times when they've been about 1k ahead, but... I do feel like Rats are kind of losing ideas here about what to do. How are they going to handle this big team fight that Supermassive have? I mean, they have to take a team fight at some point, right? Supermassive team fight's draft is much better. Rats played for an earlier draft to try and make picks with the Pantheon ulti. We didn't really see much of that happening. But it did give them the first 3 dragons. Lots of Supermassive moving around into this topside jungle, getting control of the Baron. Not much vision for Rats in this topside river. Volibear pushed in quite deep in against the cannon here. Pantheon leading the kind of charge here. Kind of awkward pathing here coming out from the Pantheon. I'm surprised they didn't necessarily pull the trigger there. And Bess is still top though. Some pings going down onto the bot side here. Ryze is starting to shift his way down. Maybe they were concerned that they're about to move on to Volibear. There really isn't any vision to protect Volibear. Looks like the Ryze is now shadowing the cannon. They don't know that cannon's there. Volibear's looking for an engage, but there's Hextech gates and the team's coming in through really quickly here. Ashe arrow has been used. Wukong is now here for the engage. Wow, Wukong's already put down to 60% HP, but the cannon being picked off here this early on could open up a window here for Baron. There's a dragon up in 50 seconds. Ryze is staying for this wave. He probably doesn't need to recall. He has TP, so he's going to keep the pressure down the bot side and force someone else also to stay on Supermassive from bot side. There doesn't seem to be a real urgency though from Rats to go to Baron buff here. What are they going to do with this cannon death timer? Nothing. I think maybe they're too worried about the dragon. It was a good proactive play though. I did mention how they could maybe use the Pantheon to shadow, but this time they used the Ryze. It makes more sense because if you're without that smite, then it could pose a lot of issues around that Baron. Whereas Rise and the Volibear could just TP back up to Baron if they needed to. Okay. Dragon again spawning. How a big engage already looking to come through. Wukong ulti got delayed though. It's kind of a sloppy start here. And Bessa is chunking down Pantheon. Pantheon is starting to fall low on 20% HP right now. Got another fight at the backline though. Ashe is on 1% HP and survives to the Rise this time. This time Ashe coming out on top. Rise is the only person to die here. That will give advantage over here to Supermassive in this fight. Leona tries to engage into the Jhin but messes that up. Jhin falls short over to the Ambassador. Jhin all coming through now. This Ashe is really, really low HP. They're trying to thread shots here. Jhin opting to unload his whole load there onto the Leona. Leona does fall. Jhin is still pressing on. Volibear is still a beast in this backline. Looking for the Wukong. Wukong is now going to fall. Ashe is on 10% HP. Anything there? Really good recovery fight there. After, honestly, a kind of scuffed engage there from the Wukong. The Wukong kind of engaged in there, but he took too long to get his ulti off. Kind of got interrupted there. This is going to be Hex Tech Soul now going over to Rats. Yeah, even though Nemesis died on Rise, the fact that that Ashe was on 5% or not even less HP, 1% HP, any like little whisper into her, any stroke of the Ashe would have just led to her demise. Okay, there was two big fights happening. There was one fight in the river, and I think that's the way that Rats wants to play these fights. They want to split up their team fight as much as possible. I think they did the absolute right thing here. They can't fight a 5v5, but if they can make it into like a separate like 3v3 and a 2v2, that works out a lot better in their favor. That way they're not getting caught up by 5-man Wukong ulti, 5-man Kennen ulti, 5-man Leon ulti. But this is a much more competitive game than the first one. Got Wukong coming over. Nemesis looks like he potentially is caught out. Jhin W doesn't connect onto the Ambessa. Rise is falling down. Ambessa does flash away. Jhin ult being used here. Can they get anything over here? Ashe has been engaged on by Volibear. Ashe is once again really, really, really low HP. So many members of Supermassive are quite low, but we've lost Volibear and Rise already on Rats. Everyone on Supermassive is still alive. They might still be able to get this tier 2 though, because the amount of members that are low on Supermassive. That's going to give Rats control of the map for about 10-15 seconds, but once they reset and go back onto the map, they need to be careful a little bit here. But that is kind of Baron wasted a little bit there. Jin's up quite deep here by himself. He is really deep, especially when his Hex Tech gate's up. So yeah, although Rats did get Baron, kind of wasting the timer on it. You got 3 people still with Baron for another minute 20. They didn't pick up the Attican either, so they don't have the increased duration on Baron either. So it's quite a short duration Baron. It's not great. Will probably mean that this game will go on to an Elder Dragon fight. Nemesis, they seem to know he's there. Ashe Arrow going over does connect with the Leona ulti, and Bessa ulti also committed. That's 3 ultis used on the Rise, and they get the tier 2. Getting some sloppy gameplay here now from the Rats. This is a negative 1,000 gold usage from Baron right now. Don't know. Nemesis has just been making a few mistakes here in terms of getting caught off. Now it's back to back being caught off. He's turned into Baus. I just hope his morale is as high as Baus usually is, because he always seems like a happy, chill guy. But Supermassive did commit to a few ultis there, and Bessa ulti, Ashe ulti, and Leona ulti are all down at the moment, but the Ashe ult and the Leona ulti are going to be off soon. They are quite short cooldown ultis, especially the Leona one. Yeah, the Ashe Arrow and the Solar Flare from the Leona is not up. Volibear walking into Nani. Leona ulti being committed down. Volibear How's he gonna navigate out of this? Ash Arrow also gets used onto the Alistair. Alistair falls to the ulti. There's no real backup coming through here. Nice flash over the wall. Stun does land on the cannon, but over and over again here, Rats just keep getting outplayed and outcaught. Both on top side and bottom side jungle. They have no control of any of their jungle apparently. Even with the Hex Tech Soul. They're all kind of just crumbling away here for Rats. I'm not sure what's going on with the zoom out on the scoreboard here, but yeah, look at this mid-wave crashing in. I mean, they got Elder Dragon in 1 minute 40. You got Baron in 2 minutes. I think on Supermassive's perspective, you just gotta make sure that you don't get split up. You don't get cut off from your team. You allow it to be a 5v5 rather than a 3v3 and a 2v2. But right now, Supermassive just keep making picks on Rats. The last 3-4 minutes, even though Rats have got Hex Tech Soul, they even got the Baron. Rats just keep getting caught off. They haven't been able to utilize those buffs at all. Jhin is now on 4 items. Look at all the control wards as well being picked up here by Rats. You've got 5 control wards ready to be used. Elder Dragon up in 30 seconds. Big mid-wave push in here. That's going to give some vision, some priority over. Good bot side clearing out of vision and control for Rats. You've also got 2 people up top side for Supermassive right now. Ambessa and Kennen up there. Kennen is just only recording now. Jin's going bot side just to push back that wave a little bit. Jhin is by himself. Rats are kind of split up at the moment. Ambessa has teleport. Most people have flash in this game. Alistair does not have flash. I think it's the only person that doesn't have flash at the moment is Alistair. So Supermassive are playing a lot from bot side, and Best is defending her base mid from minions right now. Volibear looking for a flank, but finding Kennen and get instantly chunked down to 50% HP there. Kind of a disaster kind of start here for Volibear. If there's any berries in the river, he needs to eat them now. Volibear's recording and maybe looking back to TP back into this. This is a very, very important fight now for both teams. Mid lane prio is not being found. Volibear is now having to TP back into mid to try and clear out some of those minions. Rats pull out the dragon, try and bring it up towards mid lane because that's where their players are. It's actually been started right now, and Best has been spotted top side. Leona's being engaged on by Alistair. Leona's trying to flank around. Cleanse gets used by the Jhin. Wukong is fully engaging onto Jhin right now. Leona does fall down. Alistair finds a re-engage. Kennen just finds the backline though, and Ash is just shooting arrows over that wall, being untouched right now. Volibear finally collapsed onto the Ash. It is a 2v1 right now. Can Baus clean this up? He's quite healthy right now, but he's going to have to deal with the Ambessa as well. He has got a Hex Tech Soul, so he can chase down. Wukong there on 10% HP. He's going to heal up a little bit from chickens. Honestly, it was a really badly played fight from Rats, but the fact that they ended up picking 3 at least, with some map pro here in the mid lane, I think they're very lucky that that's the case. I feel like, once again, they're using way too much on the Leona. And that was a full 5v5 commit. They couldn't break that up into a smaller fight. This could be huge here. If they're able to... If Baus is able to get this slow enough, Pantheon can ulti in. I mean, you've got the Hex Gates, but they don't have vision here. Supermassive doesn't have vision here. They're only just finally discovering this now. Teleport now coming in from the Rise. They want to fight while they don't have ultis. They don't have the AoE ultis. Kennen ulti is up though. Wukong ulti is up. Ulti, I think also will back up. Ash Arrow goes through, flies and hits nobody. Ash Arrow is now down. Alistair engages on the Leona and the Wukong. Wukong's now being engaged on by Volibear. Jhin picks up the Elder. Rats now have Elder. And Bessa is now flying in with the Kennen ulti. And Bessa cleans up a lot of the backline though. Elder Dragon does make a few picks. Baus is just getting away on a little bit of sliver of HP. This Pantheon needs help, but what the Ryze just ulted into the mid lane, and there's a full ace that was all over the place. But Rats get the Elder and get to manage to clean up. I think if that was the Jhin, was that Jhin fourth shot there managed to secure Elder Dragon? Wasn't even a jungle smite. Decent engage there from Alistar to get both the Leona and the Wukong. I think they have enough here to end. I think the Alistar can just tank this. They need to make sure the minions stay alive. I guess they don't even need to make sure that they got another wave coming through. The timers are still long enough. Leona's up in 5. I think... Is it lucky that Rats won this game? Do you think Supermaster's maybe misplayed a bit? I don't know. I think Rats did a very good job for the first 10 minutes of this game. They did a great job securing those dragon objectives. They were much more aggressive than I've ever seen them play. Like, Reckless on the Alistar very early on, some fantastic roams on mid lane, and Bester couldn't do much. Baus winning a 1v1? But my god, so many mistakes though happening in that mid game. After they took the Hextech Soul and the Baron, Rats just kept getting picked off. Nemesis was in the wrong place all the time. Back to back really bad deaths. Yeah. I feel like if that didn't end there in that fight, I feel like if that game went on any longer, I think Rats would have lost. That Ashe also arrow whizzing past as well. A bit of a desperation arrow, I think, there. Maybe if the Ashe maybe held onto that a little bit longer. But yeah, look at those gold swings there too. Back and forth. Look at that gold lead. They had a 3k gold lead after taking the Baron and just completely dropped it all. I think that ended up meaning like a minus 1,000 golds Baron. But that does tie up the series 1-1. We still got at least 2 more games to go. It's a best of 5, so we're gonna be here for a while, guys. It's gonna be interesting to see how the draft evolves as more and more things become unavailable. I'm assuming Supermassive are going to keep banning out the Gragas and the Scion, but yeah, just when the Rats were able to break up the fights into 3v3 and a 2v2, worked a lot better. Those 5v5s with the Kennen overlap, the Wukong overlap, the Leona overlap, I feel like, I don't know, them trying to nuke down the Leona as quickly as possible, she would just survive. And there was a lot of invested, a lot of Alistar crowd control invested on the Leona instead of maybe being able to headbutt like the Kennen away or the Wukong away or something. I don't know. I'm not sure about the pick choices there. I know they're worried about Leona engaging in, but you're not really going to be able to stop that. You're not going to be able to kill her before she gets the engage off. I think you're much better off just almost letting her engage and then trying to stop the rest of the engage from following up. I don't know. But anyway. GG.